I believe Anthony Albanese is speaking in Berlin. Let's go to that.
Our mutual interest. Firstly, we've announced that Australia will be stepping forward to join the climate club that has been initiated by Germany. Like-minded countries, including all of the G7, countries such as Indonesia, Chile and Colombia, that are taking action determined to have an ambitious climate change agenda. Secondly, we've discussed the opportunities that we have both with the German government and with German businesses to cooperate, particularly in areas such as green hydrogen. We see this as an enormous two-way opportunity. Green hydrogen, critical minerals, advances in the new economy present opportunities for Australia here in Europe. And part of that is the Australia-EU Free Trade Agreement. I thank Chancellor Scholz for the very constructive role that he is playing in advancing the interests of both Europe and Australia in getting a good deal. Australia wants to conclude this agreement, but we won't sign up unless it is in Australia's interests, and Chancellor Scholz is playing a very constructive role there. We also, of course, have witnessed the signing of the agreement to provide 100 Boxer heavy weapon carriers here in Germany that will be produced in Queensland. This is good for jobs, good for our national sovereignty, good for our economy and good for the relationship between Australia and Germany. These jobs and this deal is worth in excess of $1 billion and is one of the largest ever deals to export Australia's defence industry in our history. Lastly, of course, we've announced the deployment of the E-7 Wedgetail aircraft and crew to Germany for 6 months. This will be a major contribution to the effort to defend the sovereignty of Ukraine and is something that has been requested. We have said that we will work with our Ukrainian friends but also work with our partners here in NATO to provide what support we can for the effort which is being undertaken to defend the people and government and democracy of Ukraine. We understand that the impact of the Russian invasion on Ukraine has been felt around the world with a rise in global inflation and a weaker global economy. And that's why it is in Australia's interest to reach out and be involved. The NATO summit meets as the Russian invasion of Ukraine continues. We'll continue to provide support for Ukraine, and I'm hoping to meet with President Zelensky over the next couple of days. I accepted the invitation to the NATO summit because Australia's security and our prosperity is always best served when Australia has a seat at the table. And this seat at the table is one that's a recognition of Australia's contribution and the fact that we are a significant player when it comes to defending democracy, defending the rule of law, and Australia's standing is reflected by the fact that I've been invited to the last 2 NATO summits. Today and tomorrow I'll be meeting with my counterparts to discuss our shared goal of a more secure, stable and prosperous global community. I'll be meeting with Jens Stoltenberg, the Secretary-General of NATO, senior leaders in the US Congress, the Prime Ministers of Denmark, Portugal, the United Kingdom, as well as Emmanuel Macron, the President of France, and other leaders over the next couple of days in Lithuania. And it's a great honour to represent Australia at forums such as this, and I look forward to constructive dialogue over the next couple of days.